Hello, it's Ruthie. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back if you've been here. So I was gonna make a little health update video talking about where I've been at, because I have, there's been a lot of stuff that's been happening with me lately. However, I'm in a pretty good mood today, and I don't want to bring that down. So I'm not gonna do that today after all. I'll just give you a brief synopsis, and if you don't care about any of this and just want to get to the main topic, then you can fast forward to the timestamp that's listed below. Also, side note, apologies if you can hear the air conditioner on in my house. It is 101 degrees today in Massachusetts in May. So that AC is on, I'm not turning it off. Oh, it feels so weird to be recording again. I have taken a break. I have taken a little break from recording, which isn't uncommon in my YouTube career. If you've been following me, you know this. I've been going through some big changes in my life. I changed up my hair a bit. I got a tooth removed, so just ignore that. I'm gonna get an implant put in like a month or so, I think. So it's kind of annoying, but just ignore it. When I take a break from making these kinds of videos, I start to feel really guilty because I feel like, oh, like I'm not sharing, or I think it's just because I watch YouTube a lot and a lot of my favorite people have like a consistent schedule uploading, and eventually I would love to be like that. However, just the nature of the content that I create on this channel is extremely emotionally taxing on me. A lot of it has to do with reliving emotionally some really tough things that I've been through, which can be healing for me at times, but it's a tough thing to commit to doing every week on top of all the other things I do to heal. And the other thing is that I'm extremely aware that the internet is forever and these videos will last forever. And I'm 95% sure future Ruthie is going to be looking back and cringing at herself in these videos. Because even just looking back through some of my old content now that I've been doing, particularly my guided meditations, there are so many things I say in them that I would no longer say. So I know that's just the nature of, capturing parts of you in video form on the internet. The one constant is that we will always change, but anyway, that's kind of my reasoning for taking a little break. But I've also, as you know from my past videos, I have been dealing with a lot of physical symptoms regarding my digestive issues. And I finally I had my pouchoscopy and endoscopy done this past, what day was that? Wednesday. This past Wednesday. And waiting for the results on that. They took biopsies, so I have an appointment I think in 2 weeks to go over those results. But I want to let you know again, if you do like my guided meditations, I do live guided meditations on Insight Timer, usually twice a week, so Mondays and Fridays usually, but you can follow me on Insight Timer, which I will link in the description, and see when I'm live, and you can listen to my stuff then. And I feel like I share a lot of myself in those lives, and I don't know, there's only so much you can share about yourself, and I think I've been overthinking a bit these videos and the impact I want them to have, and just second guessing a lot of stuff. So anyway, that's all boring, just internal shit I'm dealing with. So there's something I've been thinking about quite a bit lately, and as I've said, I've been listening to my old guided meditations lately and planning a lot of things I want to update or revamp or get rid of, all that. So I'm in an interesting place in my life right now, because for a long time the meditation world seemed so magical and new and fresh to me. And now I'm at a point where, I've been creating my own guided meditations for almost 5 years now. I'm starting to realize that I think I've went through my first phase of the way I think about this stuff and my style of speaking in guided meditations and the themes and all that. So there's one thing that I've noticed I used to say a lot in my guided meditations and refer to a lot in speaking with myself and with others, and that is the concept of a higher self. And I remember the first time I heard of this concept, it really just made sense to me, and I was like, yes, like there's a version of me that is the highest, most pure self, And that is the self I need to uncover. I need to get through all of these layers of bullshit to get to that true essence of me, my highest self, and get rid of my lower self. And this idea felt really helpful for me for a while. However, it started to not resonate with me as much. I noticed that when I would hear it from other people, it would kind of induce eye rolling, or I would just have an aversion to those words when I heard other people say them. So I was just like, okay, well, you know, the way that I look at guided meditations is like the words are kind of like a code or like a puzzle, and everyone needs a different combination of words in a different order, said in a different voice with a different tone, speed. Like there's so many factors that go into the process that makes a guided meditation resonate with someone or not. And I always tell people, like, if my meditations don't do it for you, like, keep searching for a teacher. If you really want to try experimenting with the practice of a guided meditation, search around for a teacher that clicks with you. I think I've said this actually in videos before, but sometimes someone can be saying the perfect words, but their voice reminds you of your second grade teacher who you hated, or something like that, you know? So it's not going to be able to sink in as seamlessly as something of someone with a neutral sounding voice to you. So I try not to ever say like that's a bad way to do it or this is a good way to do it, because there is no bad or good. It's just what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And what works for you is going to change depending on where you're at in your life, depending on where you're at in your day. So all of this really to just say that I'm not saying that nobody should refer to parts of themselves as a higher self or lower self, or people should stop saying these things altogether. I'm just saying why I myself have stopped saying these things and how it's helped me. And, you know, take it or leave it. Whatever you find helps you is meant for you. And feel free to continue to use all of the tools that you can for as long as they help you. Because as I always say, we are always changing. So the verbiage and the words that really click and connect with you in your meditative state today might change tomorrow. And maybe this video will drop some seeds and you might see what I'm talking about. Or you might see some effects that using higher self and lower self have actually had on you that maybe you didn't notice before. I also want to say quickly that I'm sure this seed was planted in my head from a podcast or meditation or something I listen to, but I consume a lot of content, so I'm not positive what it is right now. But I will find articles and videos talking about this idea and link it down in the description for your further research into this topic. Obviously, all of my ideas are a combination of the content I've consumed and the ideas that come to me in my own quiet time. I'm just not claiming that this is a brand new idea that I thought of and it's not out there. Like, people are saying this already. So yeah, anyway, just wanted to get that out of the way. So I explained to you why I started using the term higher self and lower self and how I found it helpful at the time. So now getting into the real point of this video, which is why I no longer say these things. The simple story of it is that referring to myself as a higher self and a lower self feels like it has a splitting effect on me. And it feels to create an internal battle. So as you know, if you watch my videos, and dealing with so many surgeries and chronic illness and all of the bullshit and all of the actual shit, I'm constantly battling myself. And that's actually what the medical field refers to it as, that my immune system is fighting itself. So just knowing that statement, which I've ranted about in another video before, I remember, because I don't agree with that. I don't agree with doctors telling their patients that their immune system is fighting itself, because it creates even more of a sense of guilt and an internal battle sensation. But I can go more into that in another video, even though I think I already did. So with the whole battle I'm fighting with my immune system, with my stomach, with my digestion, with food, with everything, all the other issues that life presents itself, I don't also need to be thinking of myself, like my actual sense of self, as being split into all these different versions. And the idea I had in my head for so long is that there is one version of myself that's inside of me that is the most Ruthie. It is the most pure. It is the best at everything she does. It is the one who's going to be the most successful version of herself. And I would actually wish for that. Like a lot of 1111s, my wish would be that I wish to align with my highest self and be the most successful version of myself. Constantly speaking to myself in these terms as there are multiple Ruthies inside of this one Ruthie, which to some extent I partially believe, but there is a key difference that I now communicate to myself, which I find doesn't split me up. And that is there are different sides to me. There are different aspects of Ruthie, but there are not whole Ruthies inside of Ruthie that are fighting each other and trying to win out on top. There are all these different aspects of me that make up who I am. And who I am, who Ruthie is the highest version and the lowest version. I am not one or the other because they all versions of myself do exist within me. So I can't possibly disown or split away from a lower self that exists within me because that self will always be within me. And if I'm constantly trying to disown a version of myself, then there is a part of me that I'm pushing down. I'm like refusing to acknowledge and refusing to incorporate into my life. And not one person is pure good or pure evil. We are all unique mixtures of good and bad. And to think that if we meditate enough or pray enough or whatever your purity practice is, whatever your cleansing practice is, to think that if you do that enough with enough consistency, enough patience, enough love, enough dedication, that one day you're going to be this sparkling, clean, enlightened, whole, holy person, and then all the bad things you might have done or all the bad thoughts you might have had are just poof, gonna disappear and be floating away in space forever away from you because they're not in you. I don't believe that's ever gonna happen. The jig is kind of up with that for me. Again, I want you to believe whatever is helpful for you to believe. I really don't want this to come across as throwing shade or judging people who believe in more mystical things, because clearly I have been there, and I am definitely there. I mean, I definitely believe in mystical things. But this very extreme aspect that is used in a lot of cults, this idea that one day, if you work hard enough, if you do enough of the right things, you will be the purest version of yourself and all bad versions of yourself will just disappear. And one, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's possible because we're humans and humans are good and bad inherently. And two, I don't think it would be that great if that did happen. Because if you think about it, what makes life what life is the contrast of life. We would not know what lightness is if it wasn't for darkness. We would not know the sun without the moon. We would not know love without knowing a sense of being disconnected. So we need this contrast. That is like that's how we live. I believe that life is the process of exploring the full spectrum of the full range of emotions and experiences and just experiencing as much life as you can. And guess what? Life also includes things that you might label as your lower self. And life includes making mistakes. And speaking for myself, I used to, whenever I would make a mistake or do something that I was ashamed of, I would blame my lower self. And I would just say like, oh, my lower self has really got the hold of the reins that night or whatever, and try to disown that part of me and try to be in this like holier than thou stance in my own head, being like, I'm better than you who did that yesterday, but like, it's all me. Like, this is all happening inside of me. So that's not helpful, or I don't believe that's helpful for me anymore, I should say. All of that can basically just be boiled down to that referring to myself as a higher self and a lower self and all the selves in between feels like it splits me into multiple different people fighting with each other of who's gonna run the day today. And what I find to be more helpful instead of these extremes is referring to the things that go on inside of me as just different aspects of who I am. But everything that is inside of me is a part of who I am. I can honestly say that since deciding to stop communicating to myself in these terms of higher and lower self, that I do feel like a more whole person. I feel less ashamed. I feel more empowered to own up to mistakes I've made and own up to aspects of myself that I might not be the most proud of because they make up who I am. And knowing that I am a unique person, just like every one of you is a unique person, and the mistakes that we might make in life or the things that we do that we're not the most proud of, they are still parts of ourselves. We have the ability, we have the capacity to hold these opposing ideas within us at the same time. We don't have to be all or nothing. We don't have to be only our higher self and just totally shit on our lower selves and blame them for everything. And I really like this coping mechanism that came to me when I was trying to sleep one night, when I was trying to think of a way that I can stop blaming myself for my autoimmune disease. And I think that it can apply with whatever you struggle with internally, or with these contrasting things inside of us, the good and the bad that exist inside of us. And that analogy is that we are each our own planets. We're each our own world. And if you think about the world, our planet Earth, looking down at it, there is so much going on this planet Earth. I say this also in like almost all of my meditations, so if you listen to them, this is going to be repeated, but bear with me. So the Earth is this giant, beautiful planet that has so much joy, so much love, so much beauty, so much light. And at the same time, it has a ton of darkness. It has so much pain, sadness, suffering, bad things. And both of those things are true. And they are existing on the earth at the same time. And having one does not negate the other, or does not invalidate the other. Same is true for us, for our worlds inside of us. And if you have an autoimmune disease, and there is a war going on inside of your stomach or your organs, wherever it's located, that is just like when there's a war going on our earth. The citizens, the people on this planet, equating that to your immune system. Your immune system is fighting each other. Humans on the earth, we're fighting each other. And this shit is going on, and it's causing pain to the earth. It's causing pain to you, to your body, to my body. However, that does not mean that it's the earth's fault for what the humans are doing on it. So it is not your fault for what your immune system is doing to you. And that just felt so helpful to me to keep that in mind. And I've come back to it time and time again, and it continues to be helpful to me because if you're out there struggling with a chronic illness or with autoimmune disease, I am sure you can relate to a sense of blame and guilt for your illness, unfortunately. So I really hope that that is helpful to you. But I also think that that can be helpful in just looking at good and bad and like the feelings or actions that we have done. And if there's things that you've done in your past that you feel regretful of or ashamed of, those actions do not negate all of the wonderful, amazing things, helpful things, loving things you have done in your life. And vice versa, you know? We have the capacity to hold both truths. We have the capacity to hold the full spectrum of good and bad, of high and low, whatever you want to refer to it as, light and dark. We have the capacity to be both. And oftentimes, the largest amount of suffering that I feel is from my mind telling me that I should be feeling something different, or that what I'm feeling, what I'm doing, something that's happening right now should not be happening. It's a bad thing that's happening, and I am a bad person for it happening. You know, all of those thoughts, all of those things. But that whole should. I should be better. I should be my highest self today. I should feel more whole, more holy, more connected. All of those thoughts, they ultimately put so much blame and so much responsibility onto you. When I notice that I'm having those should thoughts, the most helpful thing I can do is noticing it and then flipping it to whatever is happening is what should be happening. Whatever I am feeling is what I should be feeling, even if those things are bad or negative or painful or dark. Remembering that literally every single thing changes. The only constant in this life is change. So you can use that to comfort you when you are in the middle of suffering, when you are in bad things. And trust me, I know that this is all so much easier said than done. I literally had one of the worst panic attacks of my life on Wednesday because my scopes were like 3 hours late, and it was just way too much time to think about how many fucked up things have happened to me in hospitals and all that. So, you know, in that moment in particular, I was not sitting there saying like, oh, like, well, I should be feeling this pain because I'm feeling the pain and that's what I should be feeling. I'm not trying to say that. I'm saying it more like using it as a comfort that whatever you're in right now will be over. So using that as a reminder to soak in all of the good stuff if you're in a really good place in your life, and also using it as a reminder to breathe through, or to just, you know, make your way through the hard stuff because it will be over too. And you know, this is all a work in progress. What I'm talking about in this video is something I could not see myself even understanding a few years ago. So I'm not fully bound to any of these thoughts and ideas that I have on my channel at all. I am always changing. I'm a constantly evolving person, just as you are. And we are allowed to change our minds. We are allowed to think differently than we thought the day before or last year or whenever. And if there's ever anyone in your life that is holding you to any expectation that you should be feeling a certain way, you should be thinking a certain way, acting a certain way, question that. You know, you have the ability to act in whatever way best serves you, or in whatever way you feel like acting, even if it doesn't best serve you right now. You know, that was a lot of rambles. Yeah, I mean, I think that's basically all I want to say about this. But a lot of these concepts I really do talk about in my live guided meditation. So if you're interested in these ideas, just check out my guided meditations. You might enjoy. I've also been considering, and I have recorded, but I still have to edit, some ASMR style videos. And let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I've never done it before. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I'm not like very educated in ASMR, which is why I haven't done it in the past. But I have been told by some people that they listen to my guided meditations almost as an ASMR experience. So if I could lean into that, like, that'd be fun. So I'm down. Let me know if you're down, and I'll make it happen eventually, I promise. I mean, I have them like almost fully edited, but I've just, you know, it's so tough because like I literally am editing all day, every day for my job that supports me financially. And then in like my free time with that, my like passion project is my YouTube and making audio guided meditations, and everything involves computers and editing. So I'm like, even on my off time, I have to like sit at the computer and edit, which quite frankly, I have not been doing clearly because I haven't really been posting that much on YouTube. The guided meditations are a bit easier. Oh, also another thing I wanted to say, just as far as like a disclaimer as to why these videos are kind of hard for me to pump out weekly. This is just me. I'm the only person involved in this whole process. And it is like crash course, hard therapy for me to talk so openly and honestly with you guys, the people I'm like envisioning when making these videos. But also, sitting down and editing these is, I don't know, maybe I think too much about it because it's me editing me, but it's like therapy because I can like see the thought process that I go through. And especially, I mean, I cut out so much of these videos. There's so much that I learned about myself through this whole process. And, you know, sometimes it's a lot and I need a break. So, editing Ruthie here. Can confirm. I am ready to get back to it though. I'm very happy with my new hair. It feels so fun and light and shaggy and summery, and I'm all for it. These are my mom's earrings, and I'm all for them. Oh, also, another thing is that I've been having a rash on my eyelids, but you can kind of see there's like a little bump there. But makeup has been really painful to put on, so I haven't been putting on makeup, and for some reason I feel like I have to have makeup on to record these videos, even though I don't, you know? I know I don't, so, but I prefer to. I don't know. Okay, I'm really rambling now. I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that something you heard resonated with you in some way, felt helpful to you in some way, and if that is the case, I hope that you like this video, you share it with other people you think it might be helpful for, and subscribe to my channel. That really helps me. It really helps me when you subscribe, when you like. I make zero on YouTube right now. I forgot how many subscribers I need to get monetized, but I need more subscribers, I need more engagement and all that, which I know I also need to post more in order to get that, but just throwing it out there. If you appreciate the content I make, if you appreciate me, your girl, Ruthie, then share it with some people. And that would be great. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. It really is so fucking hot, oh my god. Guys, I stopped shaving my armpits. Not as a statement, but just because I get ingrown hairs on my armpits and they really hurt. Hot or rot? Ow. Bow. Bow, bow. Bow, now. Let me know down in the comments if you'd like some ASMR content. Okay, bye.